around last year, December 2025, I was working at a job. I was a Tesco work colleague doing warehouse, CFC, and I was in the chiller doing picking. And during my induction, obviously I was partnered up with someone for like an hour. When I went in there, I noticed that a lot of the white people who were working in there weren't wearing jackets, and it was cold as hell in there, like very, very cold. So as obviously we were prepping, the lady told me to wear a jacket, and she said something that could have made a lot of black people, if she had said it to a black person that was quite passionate, it could have evoked a reaction. But she essentially said that I'm not trying to be racist, but I've noticed that a lot of black people tend not to handle the cold well due to skin color. Now, that comment sounds wild and ignorant, but with me, I didn't choose to have that form of reaction. And maybe it's because of how composed, internet ready I am, but for me, I just like to hear the full story of things before jumping on the bandwagon and saying, "Oh, you racist!" I didn't want to do that at all. It's because I've noticed that a lot of people like to speak from experience. It's not always an attack or malice. And well, it was ignorant. It definitely was. I can't blame her for saying that because that's something she's probably witnessed. I even, like I said, I witnessed that a lot of the white people were not wearing jackets at all. They weren't even wearing gloves, which was absolutely insane. Like, I would work there, like, within an hour, my hands would be chopped up, like, completely. So I chose not to get pressed about it at all. And obviously give out my energy to unwanted conflicts. Yeah, and I feel like that's something that us black people we like doing. We always like to make things about race, when sometimes it might not be. It might just be some level of ignorance or naivete. Um, I also went through another situation where there was a guy. This was in Mataland. By the way, there was a guy that was screaming at this lady because she was very busy. I think she was doing some administrative work behind the counter. And then the guy was like, "No, you wasn't busy. You wasn't busy. You were racially profiling me. You were racially profiling me." And yeah, he just crashed out completely. And I'm just like, even if she was doing that, did you need to feed into that stereotype of being an angry black man? Why did you not just approach the situation calmly first? And then if, it wasn't going in that way, then okay, you can feel a type of way, but there was no need to go in on that because it just escalates the situation. And she probably wasn't even racially profiling because I served literally after he left. She served me and we didn't have any issues at all. And even before that, because what happened is that the security guard was calming him down as he was crashing out. And the manager came and he was getting with it in the manager. He was like, "Oh, you're just being stupid. Why are you here then? You're useless. Get out." And obviously the manager, he was getting pressed. He was like, "You're not talking to me. You're not talking to me. You're not talking." So both of them were just having a back and forth. And I'm just like, wow, how did this escalate beyond relief? I'm not saying that you shouldn't check people if they make wild comments, definitely, but do you really need to allow yourself to get triggered in to that state? And yeah, so those were two experiences. I feel like with this video, a lot of people with the first example, they like to justify stuff with biology, saying, oh, because black people are from hot countries, white people are originally from cold ones, it explains cold tolerance. And, maybe there can be some truth in that, but adaptability is a thing. And some people just aren't built like that. Some people, they need to wear like 4 jackets if they want to work in a cold environment. But yeah, I just don't think that we always need to get enraged when situations like that happen. Um, and with my personal takeaway, this is moving on to a bit on Black Lives Matter. I support Black Lives Matter. I love black people. I love black men. I love black women. But I do feel like sometimes there is a lot of performative activities, and that's what I don't like. I don't really like how there'll be some black people that use the Matter movement to insult other races. I don't agree with that notion at all. And with me, what I can control is being calmed, being measured, being humble, being stoic, and being selective with my energy because you have to be selective. You can't always give things your energy all the time because you just get tired, you get exhausted. And to me, that's more powerful than just screaming and shouting at every single situation. I'm not saying that you should be soft because there's definitely been a lot of situations I should have spoken up way more, but I've avoided a lot of situations by just keeping calm. And imagine if I now started shouting at that lady who probably didn't mean any direct harm, it would have just been a long day. So I just chose to listen to her and not question her because, like I said, you don't need to give every single thing or situation your energy. And yeah, that's just my story on the when it comes to dealing with, subtle racism, profiling, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, pretty much.